Good morning. Day 29. Oh, that coffee is steaming hot. That's nice. Okay, so we're working on day 29 today. Let's see what we can scrounge up for breakfast. I still have a lot of food. Only gone shopping once, and that was a very, very small little mini haul. I did a video with that. Dog food mainly. Can't let my little partners go hungry. So let's take a look and see what's for breakfast. Okay, same old fridge, just some different things in there. So these are the mushrooms from yesterday. And I saved the liquid that was in the can. I'm going to put that into a soup. And now I have these artichokes that I made the pizza. I think I may make that again. That was so good. Still have my jelly. Still have the 3 creamers. So, still have the yogurt. I'm not in the mood for yogurt. I think I have a lot of mushrooms that I can open another can if I want another pizza. So I think I'm going to make a mushroom omelet this morning. And I still have cheese. I know I still have cheese. So I have a little Mexican blend. I can use that, or Italian. I still have the Gouda, but I think I'm going to put a little Mexican blend in with the cheese. I don't have any more tomatoes, but that's okay. And I have eggs. So I'm going to make a 2-egg omelet. That's what I'm going to do, but I can't get the eggs out right now. So let's see, I could make toast with it or a bagel with it. But I think I still have some frozen hash browns in the freezer. And that would be tasty. So this is what my freezer is looking like. It doesn't look like I've made any progress, but I've put, these are from the nose spend leftovers, so I have those to eat. Let's see, I still have a bunch of my jellies, but that's okay. This is a little bit of guacamole that I froze, but I have avocados, so I don't need that. And somewhere in here I have some hash brown potatoes. So let me take a look. Let's look over in the door. I still have some stuffing there. More zucchini. And yeah, it's got a little bit of ice on it, but that's okay, as long as the taste's okay. So down here they are. Here's the hash browns. And I have some pretzels that, I don't know, my daughter bought those for my grandson a while ago. So I have these hash brown patties. I'm going to have those along with a 2-egg mushroom and cheese omelet. So still lots and lots of food. I have a lot of tofu. I have a lot of vegan meats that I bought that need to be eaten up because I want to get back to making my own. I still have frozen fruit. Lots of food and lots of cheese, frozen cheese, so I don't need to buy. I have both vegan and not vegan cheese. I have some walnuts up there I can make some burgers with, along with mushrooms and oatmeal. So I have a lot of food. I can go a long time without buying too much. Right, so I have my ingredients here. I'm going to make these potatoes in the air fryer, and these are from Great Value. And I'll tell you, I used to get a big box of these. Now look at the size of it. It's teeny tiny. So anyway, I'm going to make one of these in the air fryer. And I have 4 left, so that's enough for more meals. I took some of the mushrooms because what was left was a little bit too much for 2 eggs. So I'm just going to chop those up a little bit. I have my cheese. I have my 2 eggs. And I'm going to add just a little bit of this breakfast blend. This breakfast blend goes about as far as my Italian dressing. But this is very strong, so just a little bit. That'll do. And it has big holes in it, so it comes out really quick. I haven't seen this at Walmart. Again, I imagine you could probably get it online. They have other flavors, but I haven't seen this. I got this during barbecue season, but that was a couple years ago. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of Frank's in here. Just a few drops, because I don't want it too hot, but I do want a little flavor in my eggs. I don't like bland eggs. And then I have a little tiny bit of almond milk left, so this went a long way. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in just to lighten it up. Just a little bit, not too much. Otherwise my omelet will get too fluffy. So anyway, I'm just going to beat that up, and then I'm going to cook it in some earth balance. And I just get the regular earth balance. So I'll be back once I get this cooked up. So omelets are another thing that you can use up a lot of your refrigerator scraps. The only thing is, if you're using fresh veggies, saute them first. Otherwise your omelet will be done and your veggies won't be. So I'm just gonna, I have a little butter in here. And if you're vegan, you can use just egg, or you can make a tofu scramble with all your leftover veggies. That would be delicious. And one of these days I may make one of those. So I'm going to let this cook. I've got it like on medium-low. And I'm going to cover this so that it cooks all the way through. And I use these silicone lids. They come like with 3 different sizes. And they do a pretty good job. You could also use a plate, or if your pan has a lid, that'd be great too. So I'm going to let that cook for a minute just to make it set, and then I'm going to put my mushrooms in there, and then I'll add the cheese last. So use your cooking. Not your cooking, your leftovers. Alright, now I like to cook my omelet on very low and cover it because I don't want it real brown on the bottom, but I want it cooked fairly through so that it's all cooked. But anyway, I put the mushrooms on and half the cheese. So now, and hopefully this doesn't stick, use enough, be generous with your butter. So I'm going to turn this off because it's all cooked through. And then I'm just going to fold this in half. you have a perfect omelet. Now I'm going to just put the rest of this cheese on top while it's still hot, and that'll all melt. I like to keep these potatoes on hand all the time because they make a really nice breakfast or dinner or lunch. So anyway, there it is, breakfast day 29. All right, let's see what we are going to make for dinner today. Day 29. All right, I still need to make that soup, but that's not critical yet. I do have this avocado that I need to use up before it goes bad. So I'm going to do something with that. So that makes me think I want something with a Mexican flair. So let's see. This is a sweet onion. I may put some of that in there, chop a little up. I still have a couple other onions that need to be used up. I think I'm going to make a taco salad. All right, and this is one of my lettuces. So I'm going to pull that out. And I have a little bit of this soup left, so I'll have soup and taco salad. And just a touch of this mango kombucha. I haven't made kombucha in a long time. I need to do that. This is my tea. I'll drink that if I need it. I'm going to leave this in the refrigerator for now, but I'm going to have that. So let's see what's in the freezer that I can use. So I think up here, when I cleaned the freezer, okay, I've made some chicken fajita. So I think I'm going to use that in my taco salad. I made that 1/19/2020, so that needs to be eaten up. So I'll take that out and defrost it. And then over here, I was looking through my pantry, which is stuffed to the brim too, and I have these chili cheese flavored corn chips. These are so good. So I'll put those in my salad. And here I have a few multi-grain dips. So I'll crush some of those up and use that too. So that will be dinner day 29. I'm going to have a taco salad or chicken fajita salad. All right, I'll meet you at the stove. All right, dinner day 29. You'll have to excuse my hair is all wet. I just got out of the shower. All right, here are my fajita things, and it looks like it has beans in there and peppers and vegan chicken. It's been in there a while, so I don't remember how I made it. It looks like it has some onion in it. So anyway, that's what I'm going to use for on top of my taco salad. All right, so I just shredded up some romaine lettuce, and I'm going to, I found some salsa in the refrigerator downstairs. My grandson loves this salsa, so he ate all the taco chips, and this is what was left, so I'm going to use it up. And that's going on the list of things to buy. So I'm going to put my meat on here, and I probably have enough for one more burrito or whatever. I'm not going to put it all on, that would be too much. So I'll save some for tomorrow because I have a lot of tortilla wraps. So that is enough for another meal. And then I'm going to add some salsa because salsa is yummy. If you don't like it, leave it out. And like I said before, this is why I buy the mild salsa, because you can always fire it up a little bit with some hot sauce. All right, now here I have some finely chopped up onions and part of that avocado. I still have a quarter of the avocado, and I'll probably use that in my wrap tomorrow. So I'm going to put that on top. And the onion. I'm looking forward to eating this. I think it'll be delicious. All right, now here I have the chili cheese Doritos. The other little dip things were stale, so those are going in the trash. So these are going on here. These are so good. And I don't have any sour cream, but I have a little tiny bit of ranch dressing left. And I like ranch dressing on my taco salads. So on that goes. It's another thing I have to get soon because I don't have any in my stash, which is highly unusual. It slipped by me. So that's going on there. And I'll put a few more chips on top. So there is my salad. And then I'm going to have my soup. So I'll be right back. All right, there we have dinner. My chicken fajita salad and the rest of my noodle soup. It's just a cup. Dinner day 29. Hello. All right, you're up in my bedroom with me, and I am going through all my winter pajamas. Yes, it's a lot of winter pajamas. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but you wear the same ones over and over. And they're not always the most attractive, but they're the most comfortable. So I'm at a point in my life where if it ain't comfortable, I don't want to wear it. So anyway, I'm having my afternoon cup of coffee. Cheers. So I want to get this done because I've been very bad about getting my laundry done with the holidays and everything, so I'm trying to get caught up. So as I'm doing laundry, I'm getting rid of things that I don't want anymore. So anyway, I'm going to go through all these, and some I'll donate, some I'll trash because they're past their prime. So let's get going. All right, here is my pajama cupboard, and I like to do all these pajamas accordion file because they're easy to get to, and rather than stacking them on top of each other. Other than this pair, that was a pair I didn't have room for. And then down here it's the same thing. So now I can easily grab my pajamas and I don't have to worry about cramming and jamming it in there. Hello. Just taking a little coffee break here. I've been putzing around my kitchen all morning. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I decide what I'm going to cook for the day. And when I look through my refrigerator or my freezer, I always look to see what is the most critical to use up. In other words, what's going to go bad if I don't use it. And then I try and make up a recipe around that. I look for other ingredients that go with that particular thing that I want to cook up. And then I come up with combinations. Sometimes I pull it out of my head, and other times I'll go online and look and see, maybe get some ideas of what I can do with that. So usually that's how I decide what I'm cooking for my breakfast and dinner. And then my snacks are sort of random things I have, like cheese or just random things, or things I have in my pantry. Sometimes it's just a little handful of potato chips because, yes, I know they're not good for you, but I love potato chips. I love French fries. I love baked potatoes. So I think I inherited it from my mother because she is the queen of potatoes. She absolutely loves potatoes. So she passed down some of those things to me, I guess. But anyway, I wanted to show you something that might be helpful, especially for anybody, but as you get older, sometimes you lose the strength in your hands. So I have these old garden gloves that I actually used all summer, and I just washed them, and they're the kind with the rubber grip on them. So now I use these. They don't look too good, but I think I might even have some new ones out in the garage. But I'm keeping these in my kitchen because what I do now, I put them both on, and when I go to open a jar, I have a lot of grip. So this works great for opening up jars. I know some of us have those little pad-like things, the rubber pads, but they don't work as well as this. This works really, really well. I was surprised. Actually, I use those to open up from my Amazon Fire, the remote. It's absolutely ridiculous to open it up. It's like, I don't know. So I use those to grip and slide open, so I could put new batteries in it. So give that a try if you have a device that you can't get open. Use the rubber glove trick. So I wanted to talk a little bit too. I notice now on YouTube, people are starting to think about their gardens and what they're going to do, and starting to plant their little starts. And so if you want to get some ideas, there's tons of YouTube videos on how to start a winter garden. Now I have upstairs, I have things set up. I have some grow lights and a rack and all that, and I'm just dragging my feet because I'm not quite there yet. I'm only to the stage where I want to look at things and get ideas in my head. But this year I am not planting as much as I planted last year. And I've talked about this before because my garden is very shady for the most part. I planted a lot of trees back there when I first moved in, and they've gotten pretty big. But I do have one sunny spot where half my tree came down. So I'm going to try and limit most of my vegetable garden to that area. Now I'm not talking about flowers. Really the only flowers that do anything back there are impatiens, again because of the shade. So I'll continue to plant those. And I had some tropical plants that'll be going back out there. I brought some of them in, and they'll be going back out there in the spring. But I'm not talking about those because they did well in the shade. I'm talking about my vegetable plants. And last year I planted early girl tomatoes. I planted them in a couple of the pots in the front. And my whole garden pretty much is in pots
or those easy grower things. Um, I can't plant a vegetable garden in the ground because the association frowns on it. So I put everything in grow bags or the city picker boxes, whatever I have, sometimes just in pots. And that does okay. It doesn't do as well as an in the ground garden, even though you can, you know, contain your soil much easier than if you're doing it in the ground. But I found that back to the early girl. I tend to do that. I start talking about one thing and wander off talking about something else like I'm doing right this second. I clean that way. I do everything that way. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. So I'm sorry, try and follow along. Back to the early girl tomatoes. Those did very well last year. I planted those in the pot with some bait alpha cucumbers. And those cucumbers, you don't need two plants so that they cross pollinate. They just do their thing on their own vine. And they aren't huge cucumbers, they're really nice one serving size cucumbers, depending on how long you let them grow. I mean, I like to pick them when they're pretty young. And the tomatoes are pretty much a one serving too because they're like, you know, like this big. So those are the kind of tomatoes that I really like. Um, so this year I'm going to limit my tomatoes to just a couple varieties. I'll plant some cherry tomatoes. Um, those did well. Well, they did okay. Like what was it? The sweet 100 or whatever it is. But I'll plant some cherry tomatoes. I'm going to plant the early girl and maybe one other variety because I planted so many tomatoes and I had so many tomatoes. I gave some away. Some of them I ended up just leaving in the little pots and they, of course, they didn't do anything. But I'm really cutting it back this year because it's just, it doesn't work that well when you have only limited sunshine and limited space for your garden because I live in a townhouse and it's a very postage stamp size backyard. So anyway, plus that most of it is dedicated to my dogs because they have to have somewhere, you know, to be outside. So anyway, those are my plans with the garden. Those two vegetables, the bait alpha, the early girl tomatoes. Kale did very well back there. I'm going to plant kale again. Um, Certain lettuces do okay back there. Not epic, but they're okay. I had a couple chard plants that did real well. Uh, Not so much cabbages and things like that. They take too long to grow, so that doesn't work for me. I wish it did. Another thing that did pretty well back there is eggplant. So I will plant that again. I'll probably stick some carrots in the ground. And of course, my herbs, I'll plant those. So I'm really cutting back. I'm going to rearrange where my things are in the garden. And of course, I'll take you guys all along with me. I'll do, again, a before and after. I have some videos posted of before and afters from last year, 2021. And I think also probably from 2019, I'm not sure. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my garden and what I have planned. Another thing I wanted to talk about was being a good listener. Now, I'm sure we all have friends, and we all sometimes need to mill over things, and we like to talk to our friends about it, and um, not so much to get their opinion, but to get it out of your system. You just need to talk to somebody about it. But sometimes, and I catch myself doing this too, being a good listener, you don't you don't give it the time to assimilate what they're saying to you. Your brain is already thinking ahead of an answer or advice or something rather than just listening. Because sometimes that's all somebody wants. They don't really want your advice unless they say, "What do you think?" or "I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do?" But some people, no matter what you talk about, they have to voice their opinion. And it's very annoying. Can you tell? I know somebody that does that. But always voicing your opinion on everything somebody says is very unattractive, to be honest. So I just wanted to mention that. Be a good listener. Think about what the other person is saying to you and not always necessarily what your response to them wants to be or your opinion. So anyway, that's all the chat that I have for you today. I still have to think of what I'm going to make for dinner, but that will already be posted earlier in the video. So that's all I have for you today. So I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.